up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and I will be bringing you more videos, doing reviews and tips to make you a better rider and keep you safe. So today we're going to talk about I'm going to try to give you seven deadly mistakes that new riders make. And what I mean by new is, you know, a month or 2 or 6 or maybe under a year. Riders that have been riding less than a year, and the 7 mistakes they make, or I guess we all made them at one point, but that can be deadly. So, like I said, I'm going to bring you 7 of them. Let's get started. Number 1 is riding beyond your skill level. Now let me explain what I mean. A lot of new riders, they learn the mechanics of riding a motorcycle, you know, throttle, brake, clutch, shifting, how to take off, and then they tend to ride a little bit faster than they should, maybe a little too aggressive, if you want to call it that. And riding beyond your skill level is, in my opinion, the #1 cause that can get you hurt, injured, or otherwise killed, if you want to use that word. I don't like it, it's a little morbid, but yeah, riding beyond your skill level. You need to make sure that you take your time. And I'm going to say this 2-3 times throughout this video at least, because it takes time for you to develop, I hope I'm not yelling, develop the skill of riding a motorcycle. It's just like anything else. It takes time. You need to be, you know, at first you're hyper aware and you're paying attention to every little thing. And yeah, so you need to make sure that you take your time and you ride within your limits. You don't want to ride outside of your comfort zone. Okay? So you need to take your time. Number 2, numero dos. You need to not ride too fast. And I say this as I speed up. This is a curve right here. It's not a curve. Anyways, the second mistake that new riders make is they tend to ride too fast. Okay? Now, I don't care what you're driving, what you're riding. If you're riding too fast or driving too fast, you are asking for, see, that was a 45. This is a 45 mile-an-hour zone, and I was going about 65, 70. That is too fast if you're a new rider. I mean, it's too fast for me, but, you know, I tend to go with traffic, okay? But new riders, you need to pay, especially new riders, and this video is for new riders, so new riders, you need to pay attention to the speed limit, okay? You need to make sure that you're paying attention to what the speed limit is. If it says 45, you can go 50, you know, maybe 50, 51, 52, maybe even 55 if there's nobody around and there's no intersections. Now, I don't want to sound like a boring, you know, rider or like I'm trying to give you a lecture, because I mean, I ride pretty fast, so that's not what this is about. But number 2 is do not ride too fast. Take your time. You need to be able to develop the skill to understand, and you need to get to know your bike. On top of developing the skill, you're learning to get to know your machine, your bike. So number 2 is don't ride too fast. Deadly mistake is numero 3. Number 3 is riding, see this right here, too close to cars. You're riding way too close to this SUV. If he hits the brake, okay, and I assure you my foot is on my back brake, but even then, and I'm ready for him to slam on the brakes, but if he or she slams on the brakes, I'm gonna end up in their back seat. Okay, that may be an exaggeration, but I'm going 45 miles an hour. If she slams on the brakes because the car in front of her slams on the brake, guess what? I'm not gonna have time to stop. So you're gonna get hurt. Take your time. You need to be at a really comfortable distance from that vehicle in front of you or even behind you. You also need to develop a skill, and this is going a little off topic here, but it really isn't if you think about it. You need to be able to look at your mirrors from time to time, and from time to time I mean pretty often, to where you can see who's behind you. If the guy behind you is tailgating you, you need to move over, or you need to speed up. More than likely he's going to catch up to you, because that's just the kind of drivers that, you know, are out there. They don't, you know, really have a lot of respect for riders, I'm sorry. So you need to either speed up or get out of the way and let him pass. You cannot be close, riding too close to cars. If you collide with any vehicle, you're going to lose every time. Okay, so that may sound boring, so on and so forth, but number 3 is riding too close to cars. You need to keep a safe distance. As boring as that may be, you need to keep a safe distance until you learn and you develop, I'm sorry, a skill to be able to not only hit the brake to avoid the car in front of you, but to be able to go around if you need to. Okay, so you need to back up. See, I'm going to downshift a little bit. You see this distance right here between that SUV? That should be plenty of distance for me to slam on the brakes if I need to avoid slamming into that SUV. So number 3, do not get too close to cars. That is a deadly mistake. Deadly mistake number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We covered 3, we're at 4. This is going to take you a little bit of practice, but that's okay. You know, we're taking our time, we're learning, we're riding, we're having fun in the meantime. But number 4 is learn how to ride defensively. Okay? Every single one of these cars that you see out here, including that big Dodge Ram that was tailgating me a few seconds ago that I wish I would have caught on camera, is trying to kill you. Not literally, but obviously not literally, but if you collide with these people, like I said on number 3, you're gonna lose. So we need to learn to ride defensively. And what that means is learn to anticipate what these guys are almost unintentionally trying to do. Where you have to understand you're a fraction of the size of a regular car, and sometimes they may look and you weren't there a second ago, and it could be a lot of factors, but maybe you see, I got too close to that one. So we all do it. Still, learn to ride defensively. You need to be able to develop a skill and play defense. You have to pretend, and this is key right here. This, what I'm about to say here, can literally save your life on a motorcycle if you just pay attention and learn to do it. You need to pretend like you're invisible, okay? At every intersection that you cross, you need to almost slow down just a little bit. And at first it may sound boring, but it can be the difference between you having a cool ride and the story to tell, or a good memory. The difference between that or not making it home. Okay, so you need to slow down at intersections just a little bit, especially if it's like a blind intersection. In other words, you can't see around the corner because there's a wall, or, you know, maybe a bridge or an underpass or something. You need to be able to, I mean, 2 to 3 miles, slow down 5 miles maybe if you can. And at first, like I said, it might sound boring, but after a while it's going to be second nature and you're not even going to think about it. Okay? See, like right here, That was kind of a blind corner or turn, if you will, but it was just, I had the automatic right of way. When I'm talking about intersections is where it's like like an actual stoplight. You need to slow down just a little bit. So number 4 is learn to pretend that like you're invisible. I thought I was in 5th gear. I shifted to 6th, but I was already in 6th. Okay, so number 4 is learn to be invisible. That is an incredible skill that you need to develop as quick as possible. Okay, numero 4, learn to be invisible.